Should be working now. Hey, I've got a volume level. What's up, nieces and nephews? My name's Aaron Ciotti. Everybody calls me Ciotti. You can call me Uncle Roger. Audio seems to be working. Jackalope says, yay, it's working. Very cool. Thanks for joining me. This is Finish Shit Friday. We are going to see if we can take this mess and make a working rig out of it. Should be able to. Looks like most of the rig is all wired up. Just gotta solder on some motors, screw some screws. That's about it. How you doing, chat? Athix FPV was first, Espander was next, Chomper FPV, Jackalope, Beep Tube, Frank Nicholas, CMYK FPV, Hot Point Hoodlum. I haven't seen you in a while, brother. How are you? Michael Hill, Ask Race, Beep Tube, Alpha Sloth, Espander, Ram Donko, Grumpy RC Flyer. I think I got everybody. June Loco, Kevin Smith, Ram Donko, Espander. What's up, friends? Wasn't muted. It's just OBS is a pain in the ass sometimes. Why is... Oh, hold on. Hold on. Oh, wow, I forgot to turn on all kinds of lights. Hold up. Let's get full sexy time up in this bitch. There we go. And then a little bit of this, a little bit of that. All right, we've achieved maximum sex spec. Drone Drop says, hey bro. Hot Point Hoodlum says, I'm good, thank you. Also says, hope everyone is well. CMYK says, what's up? Michael Hill says, afternoon. Jackalope FPV says, muted LMAO. It would not be a CiottiFPV stream if there weren't, you know, never-ending technical issues. Because that's how it is as a live streamer. There's 8,000 things that you have to remember to hit all in the perfect order every single time. And if you get one of them out of order or forget one of them, nothing works. It's not just me. It's every single streamer has the same set of issues. So it's not something that can be fixed other than, you know, me having a bigger brain, which at 40 years old, I think I'm past my due date. But, you know, you guys stick around. That's pretty nice of you. Jackalope says, liking the fresh cut. Yeah, I just got my hair cut today. Look at it. It's short. I feel lighter. I think they took some of my brain out with it. Probably not, but maybe. You never know. This is my full-time job, CiottiFPV.com to support me. Lots of cool stuff going on. This is what it looks like. Patreon helps me out the most. $3 whole a month. That's 10 cents a day. Makes a big difference, big impact in allowing me to actually do this. You know, 10 plus hours of live streaming a week. You know, join the Patreon. I'll keep going. Lots of good things. Etsy for some stickers. Fiverr with a bunch of stuff going on. T-shirts on Teespring. FPV Exchange is a wonderful website. If you guys ever find yourself doing orders on any one of these websites, if you hit my affiliate link before you check out, I'll get 1 to 6% of your order. FPV Cycle, Amazon, Get FPV, Oh My God's website, FPV Crate, Banggood, Camera Butter, AliExpress. Here's a link to FPV Therapy. If you or anybody that you know has mental illness issues, come on over, read some stories. You'll be a better person. BattleBots info, PayPal, Facebook, all the good things. This is what the Etsy store looks like. Fancy stickers, less fancy hardware. This is what Fiverr looks like. FinFPV is doing video editing. Remy Tim is doing FPV mentoring. I am doing flight instruction or flight coaching, whatever you want to call it, helping you out with tuning and helping you with build planning so that you stop buying parts that catch on fire. This is what the Teespring store looks like. Some really cool designs. This one CMYK did, Kill All Carbon a la Hoonigan. And then a bunch of the old school designs down here. The Collective, the Nut Grabber, all kinds of fun stuff going on. And then this is FPV Exchange. If you're not on here yet, you need to get on here. It's a great website. Sell your stuff. Figure out who's got stuff in stock for the cheapest prices. It's a good deal. FPVExchange.com. Get it. Let's get caught up on chat and then we'll dive in here. June Loco says, have you got your GPS all set up now? I do not. I actually unplugged it so that because I needed to use that rig. Next time Patrick is over, I'm going to bug him to help me with the GPS setup. I unplugged it and I tucked the wire away real nice in the back. Michael Blade says, hey, happy Friday. Frank Nicholas dropping the link to CiottiFPV.com. Michael Blade says, got my new Acon flight controller today. Time for a new build. Athix says, sent you a pic, some show and tell from work on Messenger. Very cool, Athix. I'll take a look tonight. And then Chomper dropping the Linktree link to the website. Thanks, boys and girls. Let's get to work. So this is Rip Squeak number 3. It looks like, what the hell flight control, ESC rather is this? You know, I'm not sure what ESC this is. Hopefully it's a good one. But it's installed, that's a good thing. So it looks like I put the, all right, so let's get this goddamn shit show under control here. So, I think I'm gonna put the iFlight 1504s on this build. I do have the Toka 1505s. I think I'm gonna swap these on the other rig with the Brother Hobby 1504.5s. Because I'm feeling like these are going to be a little bit more durable. So let me just put these Toka 1505s aside. Just so you know, the Toka 1606s are no good. They're way too notchy. Stay away from those. These Toka 1505s, on the other hand, though, these are really, really good. Nice and smooth. A really good size. 1505 is a great size for a 3-inch propeller on a build that's going to be 200 to 250 grams all up. This build is probably going to be closer to 220 grams all up, although I am going to start running bigger batteries on these Rip Squeaks. So maybe that'll bring it up to like 240 would be my guess, 240 grams all up, but it'll have a big-ass 4S 850 on it, so it'll be able to really rail, which will be kind of nice. The 4S 450s and 550s, even the 650s, if they're not like fresh, these size motors will really pull hard on those batteries, and you can start to get some sag. Not really something that would be fixed by going to 6S per se. It's just fixed by going to a bigger capacity battery. The smallest 6S batteries you can get are like 450 mAh. So those and that size cell is, it's an unfair comparison to compare a 6S 450 to a 4S 450, because there's going to be like a 40 gram weight difference between it. Maybe not 40 gram, probably closer to 30 gram. So yeah, that's not really a fair comparison. Of course, the 6S is going to sag less because it has a ton more, it has a lot more watt hours. The fair comparison would be to like a 4S 700, and the 4S 700s perform really, really, really well. Just some food for thought there. This is a Q&A stream, so feel free to let rip with those questions and comments in the chat. Gavin Ozan says, how do you record good footage on 3-inch builds? The RunCam Hybrid, Gavin. This is what you need for good quality HD on 3-inch builds. I've got a bunch of footage up on the Patreon only playlist. If you want to hop onto the Patreon, you can take a look at that. I don't know if I've shown a bunch of the RunCam hybrid footage here on the live streams, but I don't know which live streams, so I don't know which ones to tell you to go hunt down. But for $3 whole, you can hop onto the Patreon, and there's a Patreon only YouTube playlist with like 99 unreleased videos, edits, half-done edits, just raw flight footage, and there's a bunch of RunCam hybrid stuff up over there if you want to take a look at what kind of quality that you can expect out of it. Here's another set of these 30-degree camera mounts, which is pretty awesome. I don't think I'm going to use this. Looks like I wired this up for an RXSR, which is kind of annoying. It's like ready to go for an RXSR. I'm really tempted to just plug one in and let her rip, but I do have an extra RunCam Nano floating around. God damn it. No, I need to get these onto, I mean, I don't need to, but I really want to get these onto, I want to get the entire fleet onto Runcam Nano, I'm sorry, Crossfire Nanos. So I'm probably gonna pull this apart. Oh man, is that annoying? Maybe I'll just cut the plug header off, and then I can just solder direct. You know what? Watch this. Hey, now the decision's made for me. Reckless decisions for the win. Jesus. I can't believe I just did that. But whatever, now I can't put an RXSR into it, so I have to do the Crossfire Nano. Let me grab one of them while I'm talking about it, and we're gonna do a Mini Mortal TV2 as we did on the last one. Ricardo Ferrari says, how is the Insta360 Go 2 specifically compared to GoPro? I've tested the Go Run and the image quality was bad. Insta360 Go 2 is not really ever going to be able to compare to a GoPro. GoPros are just much bigger, much heavier. You know, with cameras, it seems like an insane comparison point, but the weight really does have a lot to do with how big of a chunk of glass you can put in there, how big of a battery to drive a bigger processor, not bigger, but a faster processor, how big the sensor is. So yeah, a 26 gram camera is never ever going to be able to compete with an 80 to 130 gram camera. But the Insta360 Go 2 is pretty impressive. There's a ton of reviews here on YouTube that you can look up. I don't have one yet. But yeah, it's pretty damn good, but it's you can't, yeah, comparing it to a GoPro, it's just not a fair fight. But you can't put an 80 to 130 gram GoPro on a 3-inch micro and have any kind of performance. So yeah, it's not really a comparison that most people are going to be making anyway. Gavin Ozan said, oh no, we got that. BeepTube says, I use those Toka 1505s on a 3.5-inch AOS SharkBite build. I turn the filtering way down and the motors aren't even warm. Very cool, BeepTube. I'm assuming that they're on a 3.5-inch prop. 1505 is a little small. I'm assuming that's a little under-motored. But it's probably a nice light setup, so it's probably got some really nice float to it and whatnot. I've found 3.5-inch props to really need an 1804 motor, something of that stator size, to really get control of those heavier 3.5-inch props. These 1505s I've found to be happiest on 3-inch props. The weight of the 3-inch propeller is a really good match to the stator volume of the 1505. Redtail FPV says, what do you think of a 4-inch Rip Squeak X Nova 1804s, 3.5-inch props, 700 mAh 4S? Would that be sub 250 even? It would definitely not be sub 250. Well, I doubt that it would be sub 250. I'm not gonna say definitely, but I really doubt it. I wouldn't. 1804s with the 3.5-inch props is a great combo. 700 mAh 4S. That's really the smallest battery that I would go with. I would personally run that on a 4S 800 mAh. Oh, I'm sorry, 850 mAh. But those 4S 700s are pretty damn good. They rip pretty hard. But yeah, I really doubt that would be a sub 250 build. The 1804s are kind of a heavy motor. They're a big chunky motor with a 3mm motor shaft. So yeah, I mean, but that build would be close enough to 250, right? I mean, like, unless in your town you've got police running around with scales in their cars, you know, weighing your quads when they find you flying, I mean, you'd be close enough, right? So, and I've, other than like Switzerland, I've never really heard of police having any understanding whatsoever of any of the rules regarding drones, let alone understanding that there's a weight limit, let alone having a scale in their car that's calibrated to weigh things up to 250 grams. So I can't possibly imagine that would really matter in the real world, but if it does, yeah, you would need to drop down to you would more than likely need to drop down to a smaller motor than that. Athic says, cracked an arm on the 250. Hopefully you've got yours built with an AIO so that you can easily replace that arm. S. Grace says, so what should I do with those notchy old RC and Power 1506s then? Throw them away? Or could I get away with building a lightweight 4-inch build? Any of the notchy motors, in my opinion, are for just builds that aren't carrying HD. So race rigs, for fun rigs, basher rigs, stuff like that. Or FPV exchange, you know? So that's sort of my opinion. Mr. Huggy says, good evening! Metal Dirtskin says, I feel like the Go 2 is just about perfect for the 3.5-inch class. Yeah, I agree. 3.5-inch is never going to carry a Session 5 at 80 grams, but the Go 2 at 26 grams is going to be like a joke for a 3.5-inch rig to carry, and that's a good thing. That's what we want, right? We don't want the camera to weigh the rig down so much that it affects the performance. So yeah, the Go 2 is it's looking like, I'm not going to say this with so one of my reservations about the Go 2 is I've heard a lot of people complaining about jello. In fairness, I've heard a lot of people for the last 3 years, 2-3 years that we've had split style cameras out complaining about jello. There aren't many people out there that have been through the R&D cycle that I have with trying to get HD on micros that understand the requirements. Really solid frame, really good soft mounting, MPU 6000, really smooth running motors, balanced propellers. You know, a lot of these people are running some of the HQ propellers that are not balanced right out of the packaging, and that is going to guarantee jello. So I'm hoping that for me, I don't have any issues with jello on the Insta360 Go 2 because my rigs are set up to run very smooth and not have jello with RunCam hybrids, with RunCam splits, with Caddx Tarsier, with Caddx Turtle, on and on and on. But there is a chance that the Go 2 is going to have jello. I did have some jello issues with the original Insta360 Go on some of the tiny whoops. So I know that the Insta360 cameras seem to be a little bit more susceptible to jello than the GoPro stuff. So you never know. So I'm not going to speak in absolutes until I've put a Go 2 onto a couple of these different rigs and put them up, have put them up in the air. BeepTube says, I seem to have more than enough motor with those 1505s on 3.5-inch props, even at 48 kilohertz PWM. I have zero throttle wobble or anything. Very cool, BeepTube. I like to hear that. That is good news. Scott McRoscoe Gillen with a $5 super chat. He says, hi, I wrote some way cool words to you, but updated my card info, and then the words are gone. So hi, here's $5. Thank you, Scott. Very cool of you. I can feel the good vibes from the words that you'd written before your credit card info went away. I appreciate it, man. Blizzard FPV said with a Jesus $55.55 Canadian Californian super chat. Blizzard, thank you so much. Holy cow, man. He says Rip Squeak for Ciotti. Love it, man. Luckily for me, Bill from BQE super hooked me up and sent me a bunch of the Rip Squeak V2s. In honor of Blizzard's super chat, we are gonna weigh the Rip Squeak V2 top and bottom plates versus the V1 top and bottom plates, because I know some of you guys, I don't know who, somebody was asking for that, and I didn't have the parts and pieces to be able to do that, but now I do. And we might as well weigh some of the arms while we're at it. We'll weigh a whole bunch of BQE Rip Squeak stuff here. I don't know why my mouth is such a shitbag at the moment, but such is life sometimes, I guess. So these are the new, not new. These are the well, they are kind of new. 3-inch arms. So this is these are all 3, those look a little bit longer. No, they're just not stacked up properly. Okay, so these are all the standard 3-inch arms, so we're gonna weigh one of these. And Here's the new base plate. Here's the new top plate. And there are the little arm protectors. All right, so that's good to go. Where did I put the rest of those parts and pieces? Well, I'm going to start a new little bag here for Squeak stuff. Okay. This is good. Just going to move these over here. And little hardware pack. That's terrific. Another hardware pack. Okay, cool. And then this thing is super cool. This guy, this is where the 4-inch arms are. Blizzard, thanks again, man. Very, very cool of you. Very, very generous. All right. So here are the 4-inch arms. Okay, so this is the 4-inch arm. Yep. All right, good deal. So here's the set of 4-inch arms here. Bill sent me 5 because he knows that I smash everything. Actually, I think he includes 5 arms. Don't quote me on this, but I think he includes 5 arms in the standard Squeak kits. Another one of the base plates, another one of the top plates, and then a whole bunch of the new 3D printed stuff, which is really, really nice. And okay, and then we've got stickers. Put those back over there. Another couple little hardware packs. Throw these in here. And okay, so we're gonna I also have one of the thinner 3-inch arms, right? Is it a 3-inch arm? No, this is 2.5. It's 2.5-inch arm. I think it's still a 3-inch arm, but it's a little tiny bit shorter. It's the thinner arm. We're gonna try the thinner arms here. Just gonna weigh a bunch of stuff. So V1 base plate. That's ounces. That's not what I want. We want grams. Come on. All right. V1 Squeak base plate, 6.4 grams. Looks like this. V2, 6.1 grams. So 0.3 of a gram less for the longer, skinnier V2 base plate. Then we've got the top plates. V1 top plate is 4.8 grams. V2 top plate, 4.6 grams. Okay, so half a gram savings between the top and the bottom plates. And then, I mean, the arms are the arms. The arms have been the same for a while. But the skinny arm, I believe this is a 3-inch arm. I'm pretty sure this is still a 3-inch arm. The skinny 3-inch arm, not skinny, thin. The thin 3-inch arm is 2.6 grams. The thick, 3.2 millimeter thick 3-inch arm, which is kind of a 3.5-inch arm, is 3.5 grams. What did I say the other one was? 3.2? Oh, wow. No. Wow, that's a big weight difference. Whoa. 2.6 versus 3.4. Wow. It's a big 3.5 even. Man, it's almost a gram heavier, and there's 4 of them going on. And then we've got the 4-inch arm, which is 4.2. 4.2 grams for the 4-inch arm. So there you go. Those are the 3 main arm options for the Squeak. And man, I have a lot of these extra arms. I got to start crashing these things harder. They don't break the arms when they crash, so I end up with a ton of extra arms. Anything else that you guys want weights on? I don't really know of anything else that I can weigh for these things, but if you think of something, just holler. Alright, these little guys I'm gonna put away here. What was that bag? The V2 bag that I threw away? Does it specifically call out that it's a V2? Analog. Yeah, let's use this bag. This bag makes it a little bit more obvious. Scott RC. Oh boy, shit just went everywhere. Scott R.C. Roscoe Gillen says, what's up, my electric brother? Hope your day's as good as mine. I'm stoked to be alive to fly. Today's a good day, Scott. Today's a really good day, man. Most days are really good days. We just gotta fucking force some of them. We just gotta beat some of them into submission. But, can help you out with that. Blizzard FPV with a 5 Canadian super chat. He says, I want a BQE little homie. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on, please. Blizzard, shoot me a message. I'll send you one. Bill sent this to me. Realistically, I'm not gonna have the time to build this. I would rather you build it, Blizzard, and you're incredibly generous. So yeah, shoot me a message with your address and a reminder, and I'll send this out to you. I'm gonna leave it right here. I'm actually gonna write your name on it. Blizzard FPV. When you message me, make sure you mention, hey, it's Blizzard. Because you're probably gonna message me somewhere where your name isn't Blizzard. Expander says, transitioning to 6S with my 5-inch 2400 kV quads, what motor limit percentage shall I start with? I like 70% Expander. You can adjust it in the OSD. So yeah, put it at 70%, fly it, land it, change it in the OSD, fly it a little bit more. What I recommend is you put it at 70, fly it, land it, bring it down to 65, fly it, bring it down to 60, fly it, bring it down to 55. At some point, you're going to bring it down to a point where there's not enough power for you, and then just go up by 5%. That way, you've put your power, your horsepower, as low as it can possibly go, as low as you can stand, and that's going to help you out as a pilot. It's going to give you more throttle resolution in the throttle throw. So it's going to literally make you fly better. That's typically my recommendation that you guys are probably sick of me banging on about all the time, but I'm just going to continue to scream it from the rooftops because I think it's the way to do it. I think it's a way to literally be a better pilot, and that's a big deal. Paulie Lee says, afternoon. Hot Point Hoodlum says, how much you nuts weigh? I'm not going to put them on the scale. Horny Corn with a $5 super chat. He says, I have all the parts we talked about coming in to launch our Bind and Fly Rip Squeak V2. Thank you so much for your help on it. What 4S size do you recommend? Great question, Horny Corn. Thank you very much for the generous super chat. In my opinion, you want... I really like the way that the 4S 700s fly on them. Personally, I'm going up to the 4S 850s because I want a little bit more weight. But yeah, for you guys, I think that the new 4S GNB yellow 700 mAh batteries are the best bet. They're nice and lightweight, which is going to have them crashing a little bit better for you. Most people are not trying to get like this cinematic look to their micro flying like I am. That's one of the reasons that I'm going up to a heavier all-up weight. So yeah, that's what I would recommend for you guys is the GNB yellow 4S 700 mAh. Hot Point Hoodlum says, been hanging out with toddlers all week, stuck inside because of the smoke. What smoke? Is there another gigantic forest fire wiping out the planet? Unbelievable. S. Gray says, was the GoPro Session X just rumors? I fucking hope not, man. I hope not. I really, really hope that thing is real. That would be amazing. Athix says, bro, if cops can weigh ounces of oregano, I'm sure they can weigh a quad. That's true. That's true. But, I mean, I just doubt it. Maybe it's just because I'm in the South. But cops don't give a fuck. Like cops have come 20, 30 times that I've been out flying and they just don't give a shit. They're just like, okay, don't kill anyone. I can't imagine a world where they have any any understanding of what drones are, that there are weight limits, what the laws are. You know, they just want to tell you to stop flying and that's it. And if you're not an asshole, they're gonna be like, they're gonna just let you, you know, like, hey, you can't fly here, it's private property. Okay, thanks for letting me know, I'm so sorry. All right, bye. Right? Like, that's how the interaction goes. Whereas the only time that I've ever really seen the interaction go different is, hey, you can't fly here, this is private property. No, it's not. FAA controls the sky, I can do whatever I want. You know, like, if you say that to a cop, they're gonna be an asshole to you. And, like, if I was a cop, I probably would too, because it's like, hey, I'm giving you a fucking chance. You're making a bunch of noise. I'm coming out because someone called. I don't want to be fucking talking to you. I want to be dealing with real work, right? As much as I don't like cops because of some of the shitty stuff they do, you know, let's give them, yeah. Don't be an asshole, and it's not going to be a problem, right? Like, let's just be real about this. If you're respectful to them, I can't imagine that they're gonna, oh, well, I need to see your quad and weigh it. Like, they're not gonna do that. You're gonna pack your shit up and go away, and they're gonna move on with their life. If you don't give them a reason to be an asshole, most of the time they're not gonna be an asshole. Especially for just a stranger standing in a parking lot looking like Marty fucking McFly, right? Like, if you're driving a loud car, or there's all these other things, right? If you're doing any of these other shady ass things, they're much more likely to be assholes. But, like, in my experience, and anybody that I've ever talked to's experience, if they tell you to go and you just shut the fuck up and pack your stuff up and go, all is right with the world. And if you want to come back an hour later, awesome. Right? So, I don't know. Maybe that's just me, though. Maybe they just like my pale white complexion. Oh, wait, no, we got that. All right, we're caught up. Cool. Putting these guys aside. So, the question is, one of the questions here is, do I tear this thing apart and put it in a V2 frame? BeepTube says, I had some cops come up to me in Tennessee and they just wanted to watch me fly. I handed them a monitor and they were blown away. And that's been my experience too. Like, every time that, not every time, but most of the times that police have come out, it's like, hey, you gotta go. It's like, oh, okay, cool. I'll pack this up. I'm just gonna fly back. You want to see what I'm doing real quick, just in case, just while I'm on my way back? And they're like, oh, well, what is it? And, like, I'll start talking about it. That buys me a little bit of time to fly the rest of the battery. A lot of times they'll be interested. I grab my tiny little stupid screen. I'm like, here, check it out. Just like 30 seconds, and then I'll go. It's all cool. And then you put a fresh battery on, start ripping around. They go, oh my God, this is amazing. And I'm like, yeah, where do you want me to go? You want me to go to the right, to the left? And they're like, oh, I'll go to the left. All right, cool. Go to the left for a while, play around. I'm like, oh, you want to see how high it goes? Oh, yeah, great. Look down, and you can get like an entire extra battery and just, yeah, you want to see how fast they go? Yeah. Rip it across the parking lot. Okay, don't look at the screen anymore. Just look at it. Just look at the actual quad. Ready? I mean, it's like, you know, if you don't act like an asshole, most of the time they're gonna be cool with you. I just a lot of people just have this like weird chip on their shoulder. Like, I get it. I get that nobody likes cops, but like, don't give them a reason to fuck with you. Like, I get that you don't like them, but like, what's the point of pissing them off? Like, you're never gonna win, right? Like, you're never gonna win with a cop, ever. Like, and I just don't understand that about people. It's like, no, I'm gonna be I'm gonna treat them like shit because they treat me like shit. Like, oh, well, okay, how's that going for you? Has that been working well? Have you ever treated a cop like shit and then won that interaction and like walked away from that? Like, yeah, I got money from this. Like, no, you either get arrested or that cop remembers you forever, and when he has a chance, he fucks you over 10 times harder, right? Like grow the fuck up a little bit, right? Like, I get it. Believe me, I get it. I, for the most part, really dislike police officers because of the interactions that I've had with them from a car perspective and when I was into cars. But that's still not a reason to be an asshole and just fuck yourself over, right? Like have some self, I don't know. Let me get off my soapbox. BeepTube says, I was flying in the park right behind a police station at like 1 a.m. Nice. Expander says, do you know much about capacitors? Not really, but a little bit. 5-inch 6S quad, 35 volt, 1000 UF versus 50 volt, 470. 50 volt 1000 will not fit. I've been running the 35 volts in all of my 6S builds forever, and I've never blown one up. From what I've heard, 1000 UF is overkill, even for a 5-inch 6S rig, but they're pretty easy to fit in there, so I run them on all my rigs. Supposedly, all you really need is a 35 volt 470 for a big ass 5-inch freestyle rig. But again, the 35 volt 1000 UFs fit in most of them, so it's and there's no real like having too much capacitance is not going to cause any issues. So yeah, I play it safe and run the bigger capacitors, and yeah, they've been fine. So that would be my recommendation to you as well. This is the Rip Squeak bag. I actually need to grab something out of here. So this is good. This is an battery. The Joy FPV says the goggles radiate an I'm allowed to be here vibe. Yeah, they really do. When people see the goggles, they're always like, oh. At one of the gigs I was at last week, one of the talent saw the goggles. He's like, "Oh, this motherfucker's serious." I was like, yeah, I guess. I mean, I just, to me, I think it makes me look like an idiot. But you know, whatever. If you consider this to be serious, I am down with that, man. I am serious AF. Look at all this shit in here. So these are the prototype 4-inch arms. Let's see, did Bill make any changes? Oh, he did. He did make some changes. Well, that's cool. 4-inch prototype arm. Look at the screw pattern. And then here's the production 4-inch arm. See it? 9x9 only on the prototype. 9x9 or 12x12 on the production 4-inch arm. That's interesting. The fact that these 4-inch prototype arms are 9x9 motor mount only kind of makes them worthless, because there are no 9x9 motors that can properly control a 4-inch or even a 3.5-inch propeller. So these are just sort of novelty arms, which is, you know, it's cool too. This is what I was looking for, the vertical. Oh, these are for the Insta360 Go 1 though. So these are worthless because I'm not flying that on these rigs anymore. But it does have, I can push the little 5mm jib jab out of these, so that'll be good. Metadirtskin says, finding some place for the cap is always the worst part of the build for me. Have never found a solution I'm 100% happy with. Yeah, I was sort of in the same boat, Metal, until I moved over to the glide frame. There's a perfect spot for a 1000 UF cap in my builds off on the side there, which is really, really nice. One of the many things I dig about the glide builds is that the ass end is shaped really well for stuff like that, which is pretty slick. All right, so let me just throw this into this Insta360 Go 2 mount, because I am going to be running the Insta360 Go 2 on these Rip Squeaks, which will hopefully be fun. Can't imagine that it won't, but you never know. Jesus, these are hard to get in here. Hey. And there we have it. Okay, cool. And right, so I am officially ready to go. My my Insta360 Go 2 is actually at my local Best Buy. I tried to remember to stop by there after I got my haircut today and failed. So there's that. But I'll get over there maybe tomorrow, hopefully. Or maybe they'll be nice and just come and drop it off. Can you imagine? Home delivery from Best Buy. You know what? They need to start fucking doing that. They need to, if they want to keep up with Amazon, they got to, hey, does anybody, man, I have a lot of this, I have a lot of these Squeak Insta360 Go 1 TPU pieces. Does anybody need any of these? Does anybody need Insta360 Go 1 TPU for a Squeak? It's specific to a Squeak. If you do, let me know and I'll send you some. I'll send you the vertical holder, I'll send you the horizontal holder, I'll send you the little lightweight holders. Shoot me a message, let me know what you need, and I will hook you up. This is the bigger holder, right? This is for the 2? Yeah, this is for the 2. Fuck is that? Does the new top plate use the same? Oh, it doesn't. Oh, I didn't know that. Shit. I don't have a way of mounting it, do I? The bolt pattern is the same, so I can kinda use it. Not really, but kinda. I actually need to bug Bill about that. I didn't even think about that. Which is fine because I've got the hybrids built in, so I don't have like a super need for the new Uzi What's-Its. I am gonna leave one of these out. So I'm just going through here on the desk is all of the TPU that I've got for the Squeaks. I've already got red floofy boys on there. Leave this out, leave this out. Do I already have one of these out? Red, yep, got one. Oh wait, no, that's, oh look at that. So there's one of them that's got the mount down in the corner, and there's another one got the mount in the middle. Look at that. That's pretty cool. I did not notice that before, so I'm gonna leave these both out. This is a purple one. Cool, leave that out too. Leave this. This is good. For the 1 or for the 2? Sometimes it's hard to tell the difference. Nope, it's not hard to tell the difference. This is for the 1. This is for the 2. There we go. Okay. Alright, so we're good to go here. This is for the 1. And all the arm ends in the whole world. 1mm 50. Oh, these are all written on. These are all fancy. Okay. Orga says for the LR Explorer they use 1404s with 9x9 and a 4-inch. They do, Orga. Unfortunately, when that is not a motor that can properly control that size propeller. When I BeepTube says you put the thing on your face, it goes beep. It's a great time. What goes beep? Yeah, 1404s cannot properly control a 4-inch or even a 3-inch prop or a 3.5-inch prop. Long-range rigs don't count. Long-range rigs don't fly well. They fly far, but they don't fly well. they very specifically sacrifice being able to properly control the propeller for just the ability to go farther. So you end up with a rig that doesn't fly all that well, but it flies really far. And for long range, that's the name of the game, right? Like everything is, I mean, in life, is about sacrifices, right? So yeah, they've made some pretty serious sacrifices with that rig in order to get it to go farther. And that's not a bad thing, right? I mean, it just means that it's a focused rig. When I do build planning through my Fiverr page, or if you guys just message me to schedule it, I spend about 10 minutes talking to you guys about what the goal for the rig is, what kind of flying you do, who your favorite pilots are, a whole bunch of questions that I've got set up so that I can figure out exactly how you're going to be using the rig so that I can specifically suggest parts that are going to do best in that specific context. So yeah, it's yeah, it's all about sacrifices and picking the right parts to give you the exact right performance that that you're looking for. Expander says awesome. Hot Point Hoodlum says throwing capacitor on your XT30/60 end. What's your thought? I feel like it's better than nothing. If there's absolutely no way to fit the capacitor in the builds, and if it's a build that needs a capacitor, I feel like, yeah, put it on the XT60, XT30. If I can't find a spot for a capacitor in the build, a lot of times I'll just not run one because I don't run builds that absolutely need capacitors. But yeah, I do have one Rip Squeak with the capacitor up on the XT6 or XT30. But my worry about having the capacitor on the XT30 or XT60 is that it adds weight, and that added weight can lead to that battery coming unplugged in hard crashes. My edit, Fraser the Crane ate my quad. I crashed on the top of that crane with a capacitor on the XT60, and it unplugged. The battery unplugged. So I had to climb that crane to get that rig back. Whereas if that battery hadn't come unplugged, I could have just turtle moded that thing over and it would have fallen all the way down, and I wouldn't have had to climb the damn thing. I could have just picked it up off the ground. So I really don't like the idea from a crashing standpoint, but a little time that was a big capacitor. That was 1,000 UF capacitor, I believe. A little small capacitor on an XT30, you're probably fine. It is kind of annoying that when you have the capacitor on the XT30, I like to run a battery strap over the XT30 to hold it together and just to keep everything tight. And when there's a capacitor on there, that becomes a little bit more difficult because the battery strap is all up on the capacitor and it's like pushing it, and it's just kind of a mess. So, yeah, I don't know. If I'm running like a shitty ESC in a build, I would maybe do it. I would maybe put the capacitor on the XT30, XT60, but with a decent ESC, on most builds you don't really need a capacitor, which is an arguable point, but in my experience you don't. Robin Duckett says, you might be able to zip tie it down. Mine came with correct mounts. Can't remember if I ordered them specifically. I think you're talking about this little guy. That's what I usually did on the V1, is I zip tied it down in the middle. The V1 base plate has this toilet tank strap slot, which allows you to do that. Unfortunately, on the V2 base plate, there is no toilet tank slot for that to happen. So I don't know what I'm gonna do about this, but I'll figure something out. I always do. I mean, what I'll probably do is just bolt it on there and just let it look stupid, and that's fine. It can look kind of silly. Let me kick this little 5mm jib jab out of here as well. And then we'll go back over to Rip Squeak Land and get some work done. Oh God, yikes. Adam says, if BQE has an STL for it, I can print you a mat. I appreciate that, Adam. I don't think that they do. Bill has sent me everything that he's got over the last couple of weeks. So I don't think he has an STL for it yet. This is the mount that I want to use because it has a little bit of lens protection. So I'm going to throw this other one in here. I think. Yeah. Yeah. Put this one in here. It'll be fine. One second here, boys and girls. Mona Dirksen says, I think I sent you a 3D printed mount that fits the Rip Squeak, but if the mounting holes are different, I guess it's of no use. Sorry, no worries, Metal. The front mounting holes are the same, but the back of the mount is a little bit different, which is kind of what I'm running into. But hopefully Bill's got a new design. I'll bug him maybe this weekend about it, see if he's got something. Come on. Yeah, it's fine. All right. That's good to go. This is filled with stuff. We'll put these in here. Put these little guys in here. Let me take a look at what these arms are that I've got here. I've been doing some scheming on building a 2.5-inch Rip Squeak, so I'm kind of worried that that's what those arms. Hey, here we go. This is what I was looking for. A second little packet of Rip Squeak arms. So, okay, man, I have so much Rip Squeak TPU. It's crazy. Like I said, if any of you guys need Rip Squeak TPU, please let me know. And I will hook you up. Send you some shit. That was not what I wanted to do. Come on, don't I have a... Hey, here we go. There we go. Alright, this will push it out. These little 5mm standoffs, like, they go in here so tight. That's what she said. My little 5mm goes in here real tight, boys. 5mm of tightness. Ah! Get out! Ooh! Alright, let me do this in my crotch. It'll be much safer in my crotch. Everything is safer in my crotch. Come on out of there, man! Get up out of there. Get out. Get out. I don't need you in there anymore. Shit, it's gone forever. Aha! Found it. Okay. So, I'm just going to leave that there. And yet another little piece of TPU is going to go in there. Actually, you know what? Let me... Where'd that other piece of carbon fiber go? There it is. Okay, I'm gonna keep the carbon fiber separate. That'll just be the TPU bag. Okay, so let me take a look. I think I have most of the available Rip Squeak arms, but let me just take a quick look here. These strike me as maybe the 2-inch arms. What do we got here? June Loco says, can you hook up your goggles to an FPV sim? It depends. As long as your goggles have like some sort of an HDMI, and then as long as your computer, of course, has that, yeah, you should be able to. Robin Duckett says they have all the BQE STLs available for V1 and V2 parts on Thingiverse. Correct, they do. Really, really cool of BQE to do that. Jason Crabtree says the Explorer LR flies great as long as you fly straight and level in smooth air and avoid any prop wash. So yeah, that's exactly what I'm talking about when I say that those 1404s can't control that heavy of a prop. You know, only flying a rig dead straight in still air, in my opinion, that's not, you know, that's not flying. That is a very specific long range kind of thing. So, you know, I'm never going to come on here and say, yeah, 1404s and a 4-inch prop is great. Because then a whole bunch of people are going to build freestyle rigs with that setup, and they're going to go, well, what the fuck? This flies awful. What were you talking about? And it's like, oh, no, I was only specifically talking about flying in a straight line with no wind, never putting it into prop wash or anything like that, you know? So that's not flying great to me. That, to be quite honest, is flying pretty terrible. Because, yeah, I mean, that's just... But, again, that's just me, right? It's important to... it's always important to... That's a thick arm. What the fuck? It's always important to do your homework and make sure that the people that you're soliciting advice from, and then or people that you're listening to their advice, make sure that you ask them, like, hey, how do you fly? Where do you fly? Like, do you got any flight videos? Let me see how you fly. Because if they fly differently than you, then their advice is completely useless. So there's just, I've got this one arm here that's incredibly beefy. Let me get a weight on this. This might have been like a prototype arm or something like that, I guess. I don't know. So this is it's the same length as the 3-inch arms, but it's a little thicker. Oh yeah, wow, this is way heavier. So this guy is 4 grams. The regular 3-inch arms are 3.4. Good God. Is it longer? Nope. It's no longer. It's just a lot thicker. My God. Okay. That's interesting. I'm gonna assume that this was a prototype arm that was sent to me. Richard says, have you ever thought about using goggles for your car racing game? You know, I haven't. It would probably be a little disorienting that they didn't have head tracking or VR. Also, I sit directly in front of like a 70-inch television, so the goggles would probably be shittier quality than my TV. I guess I could do it though, because the PlayStation is outputting HDMI, so technically speaking, I could probably do it. Yeah, I don't think I will. My dad does have... Gran Turismo does have VR, and at some point I'm going to successfully browbeat my dad into letting me steal his VR goggles, hopefully, to give that a shot. Although I think that my PlayStation might not be able to handle that. I think that you might need to have PS Pro or whatever to do the VR stuff, but I don't know. We'll see. So I've got a whole bunch of these 9x9 only arms, and I'm just getting these set aside real quick. And then I've got the skinnier one. So I think these guys are 3.2 millimeters. Yes, they are 3.2. Okay. So these are the old school 3.2 millimeter thick. So I'm going to make 4 stacks of arms here. And then we're going to really weigh all of these. So these are the 4-inch arms over here. These are the 9x9 only 3.2 millimeter thick arms. This is a 9x9 only. Oh, this is the same as this, I'll bet, isn't it? Hey! Okay, so I figured it out. I was right. Yeah, these are, I think they're 2.5 millimeters thick. Yeah. These arms are all available on BQE's website for the Rip Squeak. It's really cool that we have these options. So 4-inch, and then these are the new 9x9 or 12x12 3.2 millimeter thick arms. So we've got 4-inch arm, 3-inch thick, 3-inch thick but 9x9 only, and then 3-inch thin 9x9 only. And I think I'm going to do this build with the 3... And then what the hell are these? Is this the 2.5 inch arm? And then this is the 2.5 inch arm. Very cool. They even have a 2-inch arm available on their website. Don't get the 2-inch arm though, get the 2.5 inch arms, because then what you can do with the 2.5 inch arms, you can get these brilliant BQE, I'm sorry, not BQE, GEP-RC prop guards for a 2-inch prop. And on the 2.5 inch arm, this will clear. So if you want to build a 2-inch Rip Squeak, build it with the 2.5 inch arms, build it out, leave it alone, and then you have the option, you'll have enough room because of the 2.5 inch arms to run these prop guards. And these prop guards are amazing. I'm really looking forward to doing that, actually. I don't know. I'm not gonna do that on this build. I'm gonna keep these 2.5 inch arms aside, because at some point I do want to build a really lightweight Rip Squeak with high RPM, high KV motors, probably a fresh set of RCX 1304 5000 kV on 4S, with the 2.5 inch arms. And then I can also put it on the 2-inch props with these amazing prop guards. At that point, I might need to run it up to like 5S to get enough RPM out of it, but we'll see. But yeah, I am gonna put I'm not gonna put these 2.5 inch arms on yet. But because right now what I'm trying to do with these 3 Rip Squeaks is do a whole bunch of ABC comparisons. Toka 1505s versus iFlight 1504s versus RCX 1306s, for example. Also, I want to do some battery testing, see what the best 4S 850 is, some good stuff like that. So for right now, I'm going to set all these Rip Squeaks up on 3-inch arms. Robert Duckett says they have all the BQE. No, we got that. Richard said, we got that. Friendly Nomad says, I just tuned in. You are a wonderful human. Thank you, brother. Also, what do you think of the brand new Flywoo Firefly 1S Nano Baby Quad 40 millimeter? I think the same thing that I do about all of those tiny little guys, which is that they're super interesting. But I just don't see the point. Like a 3-inch toothpick or a 2.5-inch toothpick is like as quiet as I would ever want or need it to be. I don't really understand what the point of going so small is for flying outside. It's just going to make it even easier to lose. I understand going down to tiny little propellers and low weight for flying inside. Because we need to, right? Like a tiny little hallway, you can't have any weight or it's just going to pinball. But having something that light designed to fly outside kind of strikes me as just sort of jumping on the bandwagon, jumping on the hype train sort of thing to sell more gear. And I always try to avoid that, especially for you guys. Like I always try to be really honest with you guys about stuff that I think is kind of like a little bit of a money grab and doesn't really make sense and is going to end up just sitting on your wall forever. And, you know, I get shit for it. I get shit for doing that from time to time, but I don't know. It's just like, yeah, I don't want you guys to spend $200 on a rig, fly it a dozen times, it not have a good use, and it just ends up sitting on your wall collecting dust. So, yeah, I don't know. Or I'm just a dick. Either or. I'm fine either way. What do these other 2 Rip Squeaks have in terms of arms? This one has the skinny arms, and then this one has the thick arms. This one that has the thick arms, though, this is also the one that I'm going to be taking the motors off of. So that's awesome. Okay, so I'm going to move these guys all onto the skinnier arms. Reason being is I haven't broken any of these arms yet. So until I deem the skinny arms to be not strong enough, I'm gonna run the skinny arms because, yeah, I would rather the arm break and save the motor, and these micro motors are very, very fragile. Yeah, I would rather the arm break instead of the motor, and then I replace the arm easily and quickly rather than replacing a motor, which is kind of expensive and a pain in the ass. So, all right, we're going to go around the horn, and we're going to weigh all of these arms. So we'll go lightest weight. Do me a favor, somebody type this into the chat. I'm just going to elect somebody so that everybody doesn't type it into the chat. BeepTube dropped the most recent comment, so BeepTube, you lose. Do me a favor, type these weights into a comment as I give them to you. 2.5 inch arm, 2.5 grams. 3 inch skinny arm, 2.7 grams. Wow, that is not much of a difference. 3 inch thicker arm, 9x9 only. You could just type the numbers in. 3.4 grams. 3 inch thick 9x9 or 12x12. 3.8 grams. And then 4 inch arm, 4.5 grams. So there we go. BeepTube is hooking you guys up. There's all the different weights. Thank you, BeepTube. Metalnerdskin says, a Rip Squeak with 2.5 inch arms and that skinny TPU canopy will clear the prop guards and Gemfan 2.5 ducted props. Poor man's Insta360 Cinewhoop. That's pretty cool. Skinny TPU canopy will clear the prop guards and which prop guards, Metal Dirt Skin? There's a couple different there's a couple different prop guards for 2.5 inch props. GepRC does not make any. GepRC only makes 2 inch and 3 inch prop guards. I forget who the hell makes the 2.5 inch prop guards. I have a set, but I forget who makes them. Oh, Transtech. Those are the ones that I have. Ramdonko says, so not happy with any 1404s. I wouldn't say that. 1404s are a great motor for a 2.5 inch prop. But a 3 inch prop or a 3.5 inch prop, they're terrible. Not terrible, they're just the wrong size. Hot Hoodlum says Transtech, yeah. Adam Bellingham says Spintech is selling off what's left of their 1304s. They have 6,000 and 8,000 kV for something like $9. Nice. Those are old school. Spintech hasn't made motors in a long time. I used to love Spintech stuff though. They made some really good tiny whoop motors way back when. I remember when they came out with these 1304s. I was really excited about them, but then I didn't end up getting any. So I don't really have any info on them. Oh, look, they've got some of Micromotor Test Labs thrust data. That's pretty cool. KVs are interesting. 8600 kV is nice because then you can put it on 3S or 4S and just motor limit it down. 6500 kV is actually really nice. 6500 kV is perfect to run it on 4S and then just motor limit it down a little bit. So this is kind of interesting. $8 a motor. Damn. This is a pretty good deal. This would be a nice little combo for a 2.5 inch prop or even a 2 inch prop. Yeah, man. Yeah, this would be really nice. This would be a really good motor right here. 6500 kV, run it on 4S, Rip Squeak with the 2.5 inch arms. It'll have just enough oomph to turn a 2.5 inch tri-blade propeller, but then it'll have it on, and you're going to motor limit that down to like 80%, maybe 75% on a 2.5 inch prop. And then if you put those GepRC, 2 inch prop guards on, you can then put it on 100% throttle limiting and run it on a 2-inch prop, and it would be safe around. It would be safe inside of buildings. So yeah, there you guys go. That would be a and what a great price, $8 per motor. It's not going to be super. I mean, it's going to be as durable as all the other micro motors. So I mean, I'm not even going to say anything about durability. And SpinTech makes good stuff, so this is probably a good motor. I don't know if it's Nachi or not, Kagi or not. But if one of you guys get a set of these, do me a favor and get back to me. Let me know whether or not they are Kagi. What is it? It says they have a 9mm end, 12mm mounting pattern. How the fuck does that work? How does one accomplish that? Are 2 of the posts 9x9 and the other 2 posts are 12x12? That's what it looks like. See how it looks like this motor post sticks out further in this picture, but then this one, it's a funny angle though. I mean, it says it's 9x9 and 12x12, so yeah, I guess you can kind of see it here. This one is sticking out a little bit farther than this one, so it looks like they're doing 12x12 on both of these and then 9x9 on both of these. I don't love that, because if you put that on the 2.5-inch arms, these are 9x9 only, so you're only going to be able to run 2 motor screws, which I don't love. I like to run 3 motor screws minimum. But typically on a micro motor, you're going to bend the motor shaft before you bend the stator base, so I guess you could say that it doesn't really matter. Mudderton says, the guards on mine are the ones for the Transtech Beetle, 63mm props. I think I got them at RDQ. Yep, those are the same ones I have. Hot Point Hoodlum says, I like the Beetle, flies well, but the frame is paper. I have heard that about that rig. I thought I just heard the cat. Adam Bellingham says, ordered some J6500 KV just because they were so cheap. I'll keep you posted. Very cool, Adam. Thank you for that. Adam, do you know what I mean when I say Kagi versus not Kagi? Have you either watched my micromotor notchiness edit, or do you just have enough motors that you've spun by hand to know the difference between notchy and not notchy? Bob Noxus says, what's up, peeps? Hope you're well tonight, CiottiFPV. I certainly am, Bob. Hope you are as well. EE Doc says, not sure if I missed it, but is the Ripsqueak 2 worth getting over the OG? They're so similar, EE Doc. I mean, the V2 has... Awesome, Adam. The V2 has a little bit more room front to back, and it's a little bit lighter. So from a building standpoint, yes, it's worth it. I have not flown the V2 yet to confirm that it doesn't have any weird harmonic frequencies or anything like that, so I can't really speak to that side of things, but it's probably fine. But I can't, I can't confirm that, unfortunately. So this one, I'm going to put on these arms. Okay, so I can put the rest of these arms away. 3-inch arms are going to go in this 3-inch bag. So let's put these guys in here. And then I'm going to put these guys in here as well. And then all these other wacky arms are going to go in this other bag. Again, a huge shout out to Bill from BQE. He's been really good. BQE.io is the website. He's got a lot of really great frames, and he's been very generous to me in the past. Sending stuff over, sending extra stuff when I do orders, sending me prototype stuff. Very cool of him. He's a good one, man. There's a lot of good guys in FPV making parts and selling parts, and he's most certainly one of the good ones. So support him if you can. If you're in the market for a 3-inch frame, the Ripsqueak is the best that I've found in a long time. And then he's got a bunch of other really interesting frames too. They're not necessarily for me, but they're interesting nonetheless. And so these are the 2.5-inch arms. I'm going to put these in here with the 4-inch arms. And then I'm going to put this guy in here as well. I'm going to leave this big fat bastard out. And what I am going to do is kick the arms off of this guy. real quick because I'm not going to be using these big thick boy arms on this rig. There we go. Look at that. Popped right off of there. That was nice. Got that. Got this. Alright. Come on. I think I put these on just to get a weight on this thing, maybe? I don't remember. Okay. Hot boy arms. That's what we'll call them. Okay. So now these arms are here. Let me look at the thickness of these little arm guards. Okay, yeah. So these are the thicker arm guards. Not guards. Arm braces. Okay, cool. So thick arm braces over here, thin arm braces over here, ready to go. What are these arms? Are these the same thickness as this humongous fat boy arm? They are! Look at that. Okay. So I found this guy's friend. Man, these are big, thick fucking arms. Okay, so I've got 5 of these like super, super beefy arms. Are these the same arms maybe that are on the existing V1? Nope. On the V2? I don't think so, right? Oh, they are. Oh, they are. Are they? How can I tell? I need an arm that's not banged up. Come on. Maybe they are. Hard to tell. But we're good. Robin Duckett says, Bill's a top guy, always puts up with my bullshit, just backward a 5-inch bandolero. Nice. Alright, cool. We are good to go. So, I guess this isn't a prototype arm. I guess I've got some other thickness of arm in here. This is weird. Okay, but these guys all go together. So that's good. Crazy thick bastards. How is this possible? Hold on. So these are all the 3-inch arms, right? Yeah. Are there really 2 different thicknesses? I'm gonna get the caliper out in a second. This is confusing. I want to kind of get to the bottom of this for you guys so that you'll actually know what the deal is with these arms. So these, I think these are not as thick, right? Oh no, they are. Wasn't there a big weight difference though? Hold on. Little Dirksen says 1 thick arm would be like one of those crabs with 1 giant claw. Yeah. Well, the problem with having 1 thick arm and one having different thickness arms is the little brace plate here on the bottom. It ain't gonna sit flat. You know, it's gonna sit up. It's gonna be cocked sideways. That's right. I said cocked sideways. It's gonna be sideways cocked. And nobody wants their cock to be sideways. Am I right? Nobody wants a sideways dick. Nobody. Nobody. Go like this. Nobody wants that. Okay, so these are the 9x9s. I don't care about the thickness of these. I guess I don't even need the micrometer. I guess I can just weigh a couple of these, right? I can just weigh them. The thicker arms are going to be heavier. Ugh. So let me get a couple of these guys on the scale. And let's see what's what. So 3.5. 3.7. It's already happening. 3.5. 3.6. Please go up to 3.7. Nope, 3.6. Okay. So we've got... Let me redo this. I'm also going to do this on camera so that you guys can applaud my pain. The number is going to be upside down for you guys, though. I mean, you might not even be able to see them. Nah, you're not going to be able to see them, but you can at least see me. I don't know what this will accomplish, but I'm going to do it anyway. 3.6. Okay, that's good. So 3.6 is going here. 3.6. What's this? 3. Fuck you. 7. 3.6, 3.7, and now this is going to be 3.8. I got a whole bunch more. Yeah, this is 3.8. God damn it. Let's keep going. 3.8. Good. 3.7. I guess I am going to have to get the calipers out, aren't I? 3.7. Cool. I mean, this is not the best scale in the world, so I mean, the scale could have been off on that 3.6, but 3.5? What? Come on now. 3.6. Hey, here's another 3.6. Okay, cool. Here's my guess. My guess is I've got arms from different runs from different manufacturers, or maybe the same manufacturer, but different carbon fiber sheets. Another 3.6. Cool. I'm gonna like rubber band these guys together once I figure out what the hell's going on here. 3.9? Good lord. 3.9. 3.9. Jesus. Okay. 4.0. Great. 3.9. Come on, baby. One more 3.9. Give me a full set of 3.9s, please. 4.0. Well, close enough. 3.9. There it is. Okay, great. Right before I picked it up. Okay, so I got a full set of 3.9s. Can I tell by like the carbon fiber weave? Okay, so I'm just gonna group these guys together. These guys are fine. This is a set. These came from one manufacturer. I'm gonna get the caliper out. Hold on. Let me put those back there. We've done everything that we can possibly do with the scale, so the scale's gonna go away. I'm gonna get thicknesses on these arms. You guys care about this? Should I do this on my time, or is this interesting? Would you guys rather see me do the build? What do you guys want? More of this? Less of that? A little bit of this, a little bit of that? Okay, so 3.9876. So this is the 3.6. 3.6 is 2.9. 3.6 gram arm is 2.9 millimeters. 2.9 millimeters. 2.9 millimeters. Good. Okay. Why do I only have 3 of these? Where's the 4th one? This guy. This is the 3.7 gram arm. This one is 3.05 millimeters. So 3.05, 3.02, 2.97. Okay, so these are roughly 3. And then these are the 2.8, I want to say, gram arms. 3.12. 3.15. So I'm going to 3.12, 3.15. What did I say a minute ago? 2.94. Jesus. These are 3.1, and then what are these guys? These guys are 3.18. 3.19. 3.23. So what happens, man. I also have some prototype stuff. Bill has sent me a bunch of prototype stuff, so that could be what some of these are. 3.19 again. 3.3? Jesus. 3.32. Okay, this is the odd man out. So this is going on the shelf of blown up stuff. This is a full set from the same carbon fiber cutter. So I'm gonna take these guys and put a little rubber band around them to keep them together. Because otherwise, because I'm just not doing this again. This is just nuts. So these are the thick boys. These will probably not be used because I suspect that they're a little too beefy, and that the arm would never break and the motor would break, and I don't like that. So those guys go over there, and then let me just real quick. These two guys were like in the middle somewhere, right? 3.17 and 3.13. 317, 313. What are these guys? These guys are 298 and 302 and 305. What did I say this was? 302, 305. This is 312 and 317. Damn it. These are kind of oddballs as well, but two oddballs is fine because because the way that the Squeak mounts the arms, the front arms are together or the rear arms are together. So this is actually kind of fine. I could like put these on the front. Once one of them broke, I would have to take them both off, which I probably wouldn't remember, but that's fine. I'm gonna keep these guys together. And then I've got 3 of these, which is kind of frustrating. What were these? What was the thickness on these? 304, 302, 296. And then what about these 3 little guys down here? 291, 292, 291. 291, 292, and then what's this guy? 298. Well, close enough. Kinda. I'm gonna put these 4 guys together. And, yeah. They're close enough. That'll be fine. Throw another rubber band on these guys. And I don't know what I'm gonna do with these. I'll rubber band these 2 and they'll be off on their own. Same kind of deal as those other 2 that I just rubber banded. Anybody else getting organized? Apparently this is an organization stream. Anybody else getting organized along with me? No? Alright, whatever. What's up, Double A? How are you, man? Happy Friday indeed. Jason Crabtree says, can you weigh one of those arms 3 times in a row to see if you're getting repeatable measurements? I am, Jason. I've done that a bunch of times. Like I've vetted this scale to make sure that that it's somewhat consistent, and it definitely is. This scale is probably not going to be consistent with your guys' scales that you have at home, but this scale is repeatable. Does have repeatability on its own little world. And for the record, this this caliper is off right now. I didn't zero it. It's off by 5. What's that? Hundredths? Yeah, 5/100ths of a millimeter. I'm zeroing it now, but I mean that's fine because we were comparing the weights to each other. But if you're going to compare any of these thicknesses that I just gave you to your caliper at home, yeah, there could be a 5/100ths of a millimeter difference. And one more rubber band here for these 2 little oddballs, and then we can get back to work on the quad. Well, cool. There was some BQE Squeak tech. I did post a link to this stream in the BQE Facebook group, so hopefully some of those folks are in here or watching the replay of this, getting some good tech on Squeak arms and whatnot. Let me put these 3-inch arms away here, and then we can get back to work. Alright, so I got these guys all rubber banded up together. This is also good, like, kind of carbon fiber tech. Like, I have this same situation with glide arms. I have a lot of different glide arms from a lot of different generations of the glide. And it's just kind of important to understand this, that, you know, as a frame is made for a long period of time, different parts and pieces are going to get cut from different manufacturers typically, and there could be tiny little variances in thicknesses or strengths of the carbon or the weave of the carbon, shit like that. It's just something to kind of be aware of, because if you've got like a really weird, you know, I mean, like, I guess, like, worst case scenario, right, you have 4 different arms on a build that are all slightly different thicknesses. Those are all going to have slightly different harmonic vibrations, and that could maybe cause some issues, possibly, right? If you're, like, chasing a phantom issue that's a total pain in the ass, could have something to do with that. Probably not, but you never know. When you start to really dig deep, when you start to really get weird issues, this is the kind of thing that you want to know, because, yeah, weird issues can be caused by shit like this. Shit that you don't expect, shit that's just, like, kind of off in left field. So, yeah. Hopefully this helped someone on a difficult troubleshoot at some point in the future. Or right now, maybe. Frank Nicholas says, this stream is like picking fly shit out of pepper. I hope that doesn't mean that this stream is bad. I don't think it does, but yeah. Just easing the tension, baby. Just easing the tension. What? Doesn't make any sense. That quote made no sense in this conversation, but that's okay, because I say so. Okay, arms are away. I do want one more little plastic bag for the rest of these carbon fiber pieces. And I'm just going to use one of these little gem fan bags. And I'll put all these little arm braces in here. And there we go. So what am I doing? Am I putting this into the V2 frame? Or am I leaving it in the V1 frame? If I leave it in the V1 frame, it's a known quantity for an unknown set of motors. The iFlight motors are 1504. They feel very smooth. What I don't know is whether or not they're balanced. So I think the smart thing to do is to leave it in the V1 frame. But I'm not going to do that. I'm going to put it in the V2 frame. It's fine. Another V2 frame is here. V1 frame is here. And okay. Yeah, we're going to move it. We're going to move everything to the V2 frame. Every time I pull one of these Squeaks apart, I'm going to put it into a V2 frame. What I am going to do, though, I am going to build 1, maybe 2 FPV camera only Squeaks, specifically for carrying the Insta360 Go 2. So my guess would be a week or 2 from now we can dive into that. Because right now, all 3 of these Squeaks are gonna, damn it, there's another set of fucking arms on the ground here. As it is right now, all 3 of these Squeaks have 13 gram RunCam hybrid setups in them with 28mm standoffs. If I just build a Ripsqueak with only an FPV cam, I can drop it down onto... I might be able to drop it down onto 15mm standoffs if I put a nano camera in it. That would be pretty fucking cool. Worst case scenario, 20mm standoffs with a micro cam and no RunCam hybrid. My thought process there is I can save enough weight. So the RunCam hybrid is 13 grams. The Insta360 Go 2 is 26 grams. I can make up that weight difference, I think, by getting the standoffs shorter and obviously removing the RunCam hybrid. I won't be able to remove the entire 13 grams because I have to put a camera in it, but these nano cams and some of these micro cams are very, very lightweight. So I have a feeling that I can build a Ripsqueak with FPV cam only, carrying an Insta360 Go 2 that's only a little bit heavier than these Ripsqueaks with the RunCam hybrid in it. And the whole, I mean, like, all of this is all just trying to find out what the best way is to get the best quality HD out of a micro. For full freestyle action, durable, no bullshit, send it up the side of a building in downtown, anywhere, quiet, safe, sick footage, away we go. That's been the dream for me for a long time. I mean, that's why I went so hard on the Acrobrat. Like, I put so much time and effort into Acrobrats because that was the closest thing that we ever had to being able to do this, to being able to have a fully safe, like, sub 300 gram micro that'll get beautiful HD footage. And yeah, we're finally there. Now, things have progressed quite a bit from the Acrobrat. I gotta pee. Here's some flying. Or some crashing. Oh boy. Oh boy. Be right back. Nothing like a 5-inch rig at full chat down on the ground low like that. It is so oh, shit. Jesus, I was really in it. Okay. I mean, I'm getting to know Stables at this point, but that was pretty ballsy. The problem with the tops of these trees is they're like 100 feet up, so it's really hard to recover out of these trees. This is a good day, man. It's cooking pretty good. Get in there. Yeah. Oh, those open doors are always so scary. Oh. 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 Get out of there. No, don't get me. Leave me alone, tree. Yes, thank you. Thank you, past tree. Hey, going for the power loop. Here we go. Oh, I don't think that's the right one. That's the right one. No, I knew it wasn't the right one. It's the fourth one from the left. I was on the third one from the left. That's not the power loop one. I wonder what's banging into the props there. Okay, here we go.
Oh no, it's a stick.
Oh, it's a stick. BR Hacker with a $20 super chat with a little hippo that says victory. BR Hacker, thank you, man. No question, no comment, just supporting the madness. Thank you, brother. Super chats like that, people like you, are the reason that I can continue to do this full time. It really means a lot to me. Much appreciated, man. Very cool of you. Monitorson says, if the motors are unknown, maybe run it on a stack that has Blackbox so we can check out how noisy they are. I don't have Blackbox on any of the micros, but I really don't use Blackbox for that. For me, like if the motors are noisy or unbalanced, I'm gonna get jello. Like there's gonna be jello in the HD. The Runcam Hybrid is pretty much as sensitive to jello as all the other split cams, which is to say that it is sensitive to jello. I mean, everything other than, let's say this is more accurate. Everything other than GoPros is very sensitive to jello. GoPro has managed to do something where their cameras are just nowhere near as sensitive to vibes. So yeah, any kind of unknown motors, all I have to do is put them onto one of these rigs, turn the HD on, fly it around, and I'll know as soon as I review the footage whether or not the motors are balanced or not. Yeah, I don't have Blackbox on any of these micros. The flight controllers that have I'm really tempted to start a channel called Budget FPV. I can't believe nobody has yet. I bought a ton of Talon F4 flight controllers when they were really cheap, like $20, $22 each. And those are the flight controllers that I've put into all these micros. And unfortunately, none of those Talon F4s have Blackbox. But again, I don't really use Blackbox. Like, it's there, and like I guess if I have a rig that I can't figure the tune out, I would use it. But I haven't had to do that. Tuning is pretty straightforward. It's mostly done for me mechanically. Good quality flight controller, good soft mounting, motors that run smooth, tighten all the bolts, good frame, stuff like that. When I do all of those mechanical, you know, when I make sure that the mechanical system is sound, I just don't run into tuning issues. The stock tune flies beautiful, and then I just start cranking it up, and eventually the motors get hot, and then I back it off a little bit, and it's good to go. That's a relatively old school way of tuning, but it's still totally valid. And an example of that is that when Chris Rosser and Bob Rugi from FPV Cycle were looking for some glide Blackbox logs to do, Chris Rosser wanted to do the vibration analysis. I sent them Blackbox files from 2 of my glides, and they said it was the cleanest Blackbox that they've ever seen by like a long margin compared to everybody else's Blackbox logs that they sent in from glides. So yeah, I mean, even though it's an old school sort of, it's almost like I'm almost doing like a carburetor tune, right? Like if you want to relate it to cars, like it's almost like I'm the old school dude tuning carburetors, and then Blackbox is the new generation of guys that are fuel injected with standalones, you know, on their laptops in the car. And you know, you go to the drag strip and there's plenty of carbureted cars that kick the shit out of fuel injected cars. So it's you know, it works really well for me. Tuning in this way works really well for me. I offer tuning services on Fiverr. I've helped a ton of people tune by now, and they've all absolutely loved the tunes that I've gotten them into. So yeah, it definitely works. It's maybe not, maybe it's only 98% accurate, whereas Blackbox could be a little bit more accurate. But the problem that I have with Blackbox is that it really lends itself to you becoming a little obsessive with the tune and like not just flying the rig, and also like pushing the tune too far, right? Like the way that I tune, it's backed off, and that's a good thing, because then you can beat the shit out of your motors and your arms and the rig and the frame and the props and bend the props back, and it still flies fine. So yeah, I kind of prefer this method. And to be super honest, tuning is not that difficult. Like, the stock tune is acceptable, and then you push it a little bit, and like that's kind of where I leave it, and that's a really good place for it. So I don't know. I don't know. Maybe I'm just talking shit. Random FPV says, I like my fly shit with pepper. CiottiFPV. Frank says it means worrying about things so small that they don't really matter. 0.1 thickness, 0.1 grams, etc. Yeah, 0.1 millimeter I'm not concerned with on these arms, but I was seeing like half a millimeter variance between those 4 sets. And I don't want half a millimeter of variance with that, with the brace plate on the bottom. That doesn't seem like a great idea for that, for wanting to have a nice firm contact patch on the bottom to get the maximum strength out of that. Maybe it doesn't make a difference. It could totally not make a difference. But the other thing that worries me is that different thickness arms they're gonna have a different resonant frequency, and when you've got 2 different resonant frequencies, it's gonna cause weird shit. Like, that's when you get that like it happens when you race people sometimes. If they're 2 similar engines, it'll be like wow 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 wow, like, you know, 2 different frequencies will do that. So like the vibes will build up, and they'll be really bad, and then they'll be fine, and then they'll be really bad, and then they'll be fine, and like that could be really annoying in terms of like if you're troubleshooting like mid throttle oscillations. You might have a mid throttle oscillation that comes and you have it for a second, and then you don't have it for a second, and like whoo, that would drive me up the wall trying to troubleshoot that. So yeah, I don't know. Could be all nonsense. Hot Point Hoodlum says, play that funky music. What kind of funky music do I have for you? I've got this one.
諦めんなよ。諦めんなお前。どうしてそこでやめるんだ、そこで。もう少し頑張ってみろよ。ダメダメダメ、諦めたら。周りのことを思うよ。応援してる人たちのことを思ってみろって。あともうちょっとのところなんだから。俺だってこのマイナス10度のところ、しじみが取れるって頑張ってんだよ。絶対やってみろ。必ず目標達成できる。だからこそ、ネバーギブアップ。
Cheers, motherfuckers! Look at this. This is pumpkin cider. It's called pumpkin pie. Pumpkin pie spiced hard cider. It's actually really good. I don't usually like pumpkin beers, but this is really good. I'm really digging this. Hot Point Hoodlum says, speaking of your tune. Carbonation went up my nose. Yikes. Okay. So I'm going to take this out of this base plate. We're not going to finish this tonight, are we? What time is it? Holy shit, bot goes on in 6 minutes. Oh, wow. Okay, okay. What the hell? Yeah. I'm going to change the name of this stream to not finishing shit Friday. Lots of good tech in this stream, but we didn't do any work. Literally any work. All we did was planning. I'm gonna chop this thing at 9 so that you guys can go watch Bot. Hold on, let me make sure that he's streaming. BeepTube says, I've found that cutting down filtering really helps. Blackbox makes it easy to target particular vibrations. Putting a static notch on resonant frequencies can help a lot. Very, very true. BeepTube is absolutely on the money with that. Oh, looks like Bot might not be streaming tonight. I don't see a scheduled stream for him. So we'll hang out for a minute here. Oh no, there it is. There it is. 9 o'clock. Okay, cool. Looks like he's doing FPV live stream and video contest. Very cool. Jackalope says he is streaming. All right, good. So yeah, we'll chop this in 5 minutes. That's fine. Yeah, BeepTube is absolutely right. Within sort of the mechanical tuning that I do, a part of that is getting a frame that doesn't have nasty resonant frequencies that you need to tune out with the filters. So yeah, that's kind of a part of it, but it's absolutely true. I mean, in the same way that with fuel injection and standalone in cars, there's extra data available. Yeah, I mean, you can absolutely get a better end result using Blackbox. But I guess what my point is that without Blackbox, you can kind of get the tune to 99%. And I would rather not spend the time fucking around with Blackbox and obsessing over that last 1%, because that last 1% doesn't really do much. Like, getting the tune to like 99% gets you the majority of the benefits. That extra 1%, in my experience, doesn't really make the rig fly any better, and all it actually does is prevent you from being able to fly home on a bent propeller or bent motor shaft when you bang something up and smack it into a piece of concrete out there. So I just when I started to learn Blackbox, that was like what happened to me when I started to learn Blackbox 2.5-ish years ago. I just became obsessed, and I spent so much time looking at logs, and I would go out and log and come home and go back out and do another log and come home. And then like my rigs were all tuned to the absolute limit of what was possible, but then I start blowing up ESCs and blowing up motors when I'm bending props. And I ended up pulling all my tunes back. And then it was like, well, what the hell? If I'm just gonna pull the tunes back like this, there's no benefit to spending the time to log and download the log and pour over the logs and all that shit. So yeah, that was sort of my experience. Was initially I started tuning without Blackbox, and I was able to get the tunes really good. And then when I started to use Blackbox, it was just like a snowball running downhill. And when I would look at the footage, it wouldn't look any better. And so, yeah, I stopped using Blackbox, and the footage looked exactly the same, but my tunes were safer because I was able to back them off, and I was able to tune quicker. So, yeah, that's been my experience. But, you know, I'm somebody who's been in this for almost 5 years now, so I'm a unique case. Those of you that haven't had that much experience in listening to what trilling oscillations sound like, for example, feeling what motor heat is like, and just having the discipline to always feel your motors to check the motor heat. Like, there's a lot of different things that I've been able to kind of develop in my little toolbox of like things that I do and listen for and look for with these rigs that allows me to tune in this method. Somebody that's new to the hobby, or 6 months in, or even a year in, it might be better for that person to use Blackbox, because it is a more it's a safer way, because you're getting actual data. It's a safer way to kind of tune. Let me add to the description of this video tuning talk. Not finishing shit Friday Q&A, ultimate 3-inch freestyle build. Didn't really talk about that, so I'm going to take that out of the description. And let's add tuning talk. Blackbox versus I got 1 minute to figure this out. Blackbox versus, what would you guys call my tuning method? It's basically tuning by ear, tuning by flight. It's also tuning by reviewing footage. That's really the end-all, be-all for me, is when I watch my flight. Yeah, butt dyno is a good one, Adam. watching my flight footage back is where I get most of my tuning done. If I see too much prop wash, I'll go into my rigs and crank the D gains up. Stuff like that. If I see mid-throttle oscillations, I'll go in and move stuff around. Whatever the FPV equivalent of butt dyno is. Yeah, very true. Tuning talk, Blackbox versus feel. Because that's basically what I'm doing, is I'm tuning by feel. I guess is the easiest. You can totally just go by ear. Yeah, very true. Beep tube. Very, very true. Ear and motor heat. Ear and motor heat is realistically all you need. Ruby Tim says, pumpkin pie spice is not the same flavor as pumpkin. Pumpkin spice is just cinnamon, nutmeg, ginger. Pumpkin flavor is actual pumpkins. Very true. I never really thought about that, but that's so true. There have been a couple pumpkin beers that I liked, and I bet you those were pumpkin flavored beers rather than pumpkin spice beers. The pumpkin spice beers are disgusting to me. Beep 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 tube. All right, we're good. It's 9:01. Go watch Bot Grinder. I'm gonna finish this beer. Do you guys want to see this build? Should I say? I'll save this build for you guys. We'll do some work on this build on Sunday. Cool. Look at his fucking hair. Look at his short hair. I feel like if I move my head around. Look at that. I couldn't do that before. Yeah! Hella G's FPV says thanks. You are certainly welcome, brother. Here's a little bit more flying from Stables. Thanks for hanging out, you beautiful bastards. My name is Uncle Roger. If you don't know who Uncle Roger is, search him on YouTube. You're in for a good time. You're going to love him. Not as much as I love you guys, though. Here's some more jamming at the Stables. I'll see you Sunday at 3 o'clock. CiottiFPV.com if you want to see me keep on going. I love you. I hope you have an excellent Friday night. Don't get chlamydia. Goodbye.